Hi, in this video I'll be showing you this. It's the Beko DTLP81141W condenser dryer, and what I want to do today is to show you around the tumble dryer some of the features and benefits that it's got, and if you're in the market for a condenser dryer, why this is one you should really consider. So I've got it plugged in, let's have a look. So a little bit about the dryer itself. So with this one, this has something called heat pump technology, and rather than going into the ins and outs of how it all works, basically in a nutshell, with heat pump tumble dryers, they're a lot more energy efficient. Now on this particular one, from the energy label, you can see here this is an A+ energy rating, and although it might not mean a lot to you, and it just shows the kilowatt hours per annum at 297. So as I say, it might not mean a lot, but just to show you the equivalent model, so this is an 8 kilogram condenser. There is an equivalent model in the Beko range, exactly the same as this, but without the heat pump technology. And this is the energy label for that one. And as you can see, it's a B rating, so you might think that's okay, but at 561 kilowatt hours per annum, it is a big difference to the heat pump at 297. So, you know, if it is something that is important to you, things like energy consumption, then I'd certainly consider this one. So with electricity prices as they are at the moment, they're certainly not coming down, and that's partly the reason we do so well with heat pump tumble dryers as a whole from various brands, because they're a lot more cost effective to use than a normal condenser dryer. So just to show you the dryer itself, first of all you've got the big dial in the middle, this acts as the on and off button as well, so you can just see at the top here you've got on and off. So as soon as you turn it to one of the programs, then it shows the time on here on the right hand side. It's a really nice red LED display. This is something that Beko have used for some time, and I must say it does go down very well with customers because it's nice and easy to read. A little bit about the programs. You've got quite a really good range of programs. First thing to mention is that the majority of these programs use something called a sensor system, and what that means is that it will actually stop when the clothes are dry. And I know that sounds silly, but on an old-fashioned timed tumble dryer, then what you'd normally do is you'd set the time on it. So if you want it on for say 50 minutes, then you just set it for 50 minutes, and it doesn't matter how dry the clothes are, the tumble dryer will be on 50 minutes and that's it. Whereas with newer technology, using a sensor system, then you set how dry you want it. So for example at the top here, this is iron dry, and this is a great program. So if you're doing things like shirts, then just set it to that, and what it will do is it will actually leave them a little bit damp. So if you want to iron your shirts afterwards, then set it to that program and take your shirts out, and what you can do is if you've had say a mix load, then you can move it onto another program and that will finish off. Whereas if you wanted it on say something like cupboard dry, that's probably a more popular program, and what that does is that will get everything completely dry. But the advantage of using the sensor system is it doesn't over dry everything. And apart from not over drying everything, the other main advantage, because it's only drying for the time required, then it will save you on the electricity as well. And as you can see here on the right hand side, some of the program times look very long, at say 3.5 hours. This is always an estimate to start with. Of course it does depend on the load that's in there and how damp it is. And the other thing that you will find is that with heat pump tumble dryers, the duration of the programs can be a little bit longer, and again it can depend where the tumble dryer is situated. So if you've got it in say a warm kitchen, then the drying times might not take as long as if it was in say a colder atmosphere. Now as you go around to some of the other programs, so as you can see here it's got cottons on the right, and then you've got synthetics. So as you come around to say the synthetics, you will notice that the program duration is a lot quicker. So this is around an hour, and again this is because it uses the sensor, then it will adjust the time accordingly. But one thing to bear in mind is that on the majority of these programs, then you can only use smaller loads. So this tumble dryer has a maximum load of 8 kilograms, and really the only program that Beko recommend using on an 8 kilogram is the cotton program. So it's any of these 4 programs. As you come around to here, the synthetics, then that's recommended for a maximum load of 4 kilograms. So the next program to show you is this one. This is the timer programs. And what this enables you to do is to actually set the time manually. So I did mention a minute ago that the majority of programs around here are sensor, to use the sensor system, which to be honest is a much better method. But you have got along the bottom here, this is called timer programs. And what this allows you to do is to set the program time manually. So if you know that you want something in for an hour, then you've got that ability. But what this will do, this will actually run for over 2 hours. So it's 2 hours 40 minutes, and then it just goes back to 10 minutes. So if you know you want to put something in for a certain time, then that could be a useful program as well. As you come around to some of these other programs, so I won't cover all of these, but you've got things like dental care, jeans, outdoor and sportswear. You've even got things like a towel program. So if you want to dry your towels in there, then that's a specific program for towels. That's for a maximum of up to 5 kilograms. And as I say, with these times, don't be scared by this initial time at 3 hours 15. It will often come down from that. And really the last program to show you, so first of all you've got downwear, but this one here, this is super short, 0.5 kilograms. So this is really designed for example, 2 shirts. So if I suppose you have the example, and I have had it at home myself, where we put the washing on overnight, and then our children have realised that they haven't got a shirt for the day. So you rush down and you go to your washing machine, realising they're still in the washing machine because you've used economy 7 overnight to get the cheap electricity. And then what you need to do is to really dry them quickly. And this is an excellent program for that. So this is really designed for, as it says, 0.5 kilogram. So there's around 2 or possibly 3 shirts, and that will get them ready for ironing. And that takes around half an hour. So this program could be a lifesaver if you've got kids going to school to make sure they've got a nice clean shirt. Now I've pretty much covered the programs, but on the right hand side here, then you've got several different options. The first one is the buzzer and the time. The time I've already covered because that's used with the timer programs option. But the buzzer, so with this, at the end of each program, then it will actually buzz at you. But sometimes you might not want that on. So if you, this is a great example. You've got this, which is the ending in. So this is a time delay program. This enables you to delay the program by up to 24 hours. Again, if you use things like economy 7, where you've got cheap electricity during the night, then this is a great way to save even more electricity. But what you want is, if you're going to finish it, say 4 or 5 in the morning, then you probably don't want it buzzing away. So just press that button there, and you've got a little symbol on the front there that shows you that the buzzer is off. So it's nice to have that there. As I say, with this, the ending in, that goes up to 24 hours, and then after that, then it goes to the standard time of the program. Just in the middle of those 2 buttons, there's an option here called dryness level, and what this enables you to do is, if you press that, then it will actually alter how dry the clothes are. So although you can select it here, what Beko have done is they've actually allowed us to manually select how dry you want it. So for things like towels, then you might want to add a little bit more time if you like them nice and fluffy. But as you can see, it does make a difference to the time of the program. So on here it goes up from 2 hours 25, and then as you go up to the top level, up to 2 hours 37. So it's not a huge difference, but I just thought I'd point that out. You have also got the child lock. So with this, all you need to do is press and hold those 2 buttons for 3 seconds. What it will do is it will actually count down. So it's got CL, and basically what that does is that will tell you, so you've got CL on there, it's got a little padlock symbol. If you have enabled the child lock, and if you want to turn it off, then all you need to do is press and hold those 2 buttons, press and hold them for 3 seconds again, and then you can carry on as before. And the last thing, on the right hand side here, you've got the start and pause button. So that's it. The reason they put pause on there, I know it sounds odd, because in theory with this tumble dryer and with a lot of tumble dryers you can open the door at any part of the drying process. But what you will find is if you just open the door, then it will interrupt the sensors. And what I mean by that is that with the sensor system, it can be around 9 to 10 minutes to actually detect the load and how damp it is, and it will adjust the time. If you go and open the door, then it will interrupt the sensors and it will have to start the whole thing again, although it won't take as long. So if you pause the program, then it will actually remember the time duration of the program. Then you can open it, and if you want to, say, take something out, then all you do is when you shut the door, you press the start button and it will carry on. And also on the right hand side here, you've got the progress indicator. So this just shows you what it's doing, which can be important. Personally, I'm not too sure they need that, because you've got the time remaining here, which is always a great thing. This is normally on some of the cheaper tumble dryers where you don't have the time remaining. So as with any condenser dryer, then it will generate water as it's going through the drying process, and what you need to do is you need to get rid of the water somehow. And on this dryer there are two ways of doing it. So the first one, and the most popular way, is with the drawer. So all of the water just collects within the drawer, and then all you need to do is just go and empty it. There are indicators. I know it's probably difficult to say, but when the water needs emptying, then it will light up on there and it will actually stop the program if it does get too full. That's one way of doing it. The other way is you can actually use this. This is a drain hose, and you can connect it round the back of the tumble dryer when you first get it, and as long as you've got a main water outlet, some people will actually connect it to say a washing machine outlet as well. The main advantage is you don't need to worry about emptying the drawer, so that comes with it as well. Now let's go to open the door. As you can see, the handle's on the left hand side on this model. It is easy to open. It's quite a nice light door. You will notice that there is a light inside, and some people will be wondering why there's a light. The main advantage of having a light inside a tumble dryer, and especially on this model because it's quite a big drum, it's got an 8 kilogram load, then especially if you're tumble drying smaller items, then they can get sort of left in the drum. So by having the light in there, it's nice and easy to see if you've left bits in there. The other thing to point out is that you've actually got the filter in there, so that's nice and easy to take out. Most manufacturers will recommend, really after every load or every couple of loads, to just go in here, open that up, get rid of any of the fluff or lint that's generated, and then just pop that back in. So it's nice and easy to maintain. While I'm talking about the maintenance on the dryer, then the only other thing you really need to do is at the bottom here. So this is the actual condenser unit, and to clean this is quite easy. All you need to do is just take off the cover, and then behind here you've got the unit itself, and all they recommend is just get something like a dry paintbrush and just brush it over, and that's quite an easy process to do. It is important to keep that clean, and the main reason for that is that it can affect the energy performance of the machine. If things like the main condenser unit and the filters are all clogged, then it has to work a lot harder just to do its job. So I'd recommend doing that. Now I know for a lot of people looking around the back of the dryer isn't important, but if you're installing it, then you might want to see what it looks like. As I say, not a lot to see, but you've got the mains cable that comes out of the machine at the top left here, and of course at the moment, because it is a brand new machine, so this is all wrapped around here. I did mention earlier about the hose that you can use to have the water coming out of the tumble dryer rather than using the drawer, and that just attaches at the bottom here. So all you do is you just pull that hose out and then just attach the other new hose onto that, and then you can attach it to your water outlet. So if you're thinking of buying one of these models, then I have provided a link below to show you where to get one at a competitive price. I hope you enjoyed this quick video on the Beko DTLP81141W condenser dryer. Please give us a thumbs up, click subscribe on our YouTube channel, and leave any comments below. I'd always ask for comments about the video itself, what are your thoughts about it, also about the dryer itself. If you've got any questions on this, if you're thinking about buying one, and if I have missed something, then just pop it in the comments and I'll get back to you. Also, if you have got one of these, if you've got a Beko heat pump tumble dryer, then let me know what you think about it. I'd always appreciate the feedback, honest feedback, whether you think it's really good or not, then put it in the comments. and if there's any questions, then I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.